Hi everyone. It's been a while since I've posted a video myself, so I figured it was about time that I brought you all a little bit more up to date. Um, as you know, last week was a week that I've been looking forward to for some time now. The week of my PET scan um, and other things. But the PET scan is one that, I was really looking forward to getting finalized so that I could believe or not believe if the cancer is in remission. So the plan was on Tuesday to come down here and they have to shoot some radioactive liquid into your body to see how the body reacts during the PET scan. And I had not anticipated there being any problems with that, but there were. So the day started with coming down to first, sit and wait in a room while they, after the injection, for it all to go through your system and then get the scan done. I thought it would just be a walk in the park like it was last time. However, it took 3 different people and 4 attempts and 1, 2, 3, about 15 pokes with the needle before they actually succeeded in injecting the fluid into me, because my veins are completely messed up and all very tough. So it's taken its toll on me. I also asked them when they were trying to get the needles into me when this would pass, when my veins would become more normal again. The answer was never. Great. So the damage that's been done is something that I will live with. So they will forever be like leather, apparently, to get into. So not only are they difficult to get into, but they kind of seem to move around every time they start putting the needle in, so it's hard to hold on to them. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, in the end, it worked, and they managed to inject me, and I had to wait a half hour, and then go in and get the scan done. And that was pretty much it for the day, apart from being extremely sore in, on both my arms in numerous locations. At least it got done. Then the following day, I was to show up at 7 o'clock in the morning for my operation. Showed up at 7. It said that there would be a few delays. Waited an hour, waited another hour. Eventually asked what was going on, only to find out that the nurse that was supposed to tend to me had not been informed that I had arrived. Great. So that was a waste of time. And then when she found out that I was here, she said, well, there's still further delays. And I said, what can you tell me when I'm going to be operated on? And she said, well, right now you're scheduled for 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I thought, what? I was supposed to be here at 7 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, long story short, we ended up just driving home. It's only 15 minutes from where we live. So we drove home for a few hours, and then we're to come back at 2 o'clock in the afternoon so that they can start prepping. Came back at 2, waited until 3, waited until 4. At 4:30, they started prepping me for the operation. They said I was the last one for the day. And at 4:45, a doctor came out and said, we're not going to be able to do it today. So, another day wasted. Had to go home, come back the next day, 8 o'clock. And when we arrived the next day at 8 o'clock, found out that I was number 2 on the list. So hopefully it wouldn't take that long. It ended up taking a while. And then when we got down to when I got down to the operating room, or the prep room, the main surgeon came over to me and said that he had a bit of a surprise. He said, well, listen, we weren't able to get down your throat with the stroke last time, but since you're going to be fully anesthetized, if you approve, we'd like to try again to see if we can get it down, because it'll make the operation procedure less invasive. So I said, all right, go for it. Then I found out that because my throat is so tightened up, that they were also concerned about my breathing ability to breathe while I was under full sedation. So they had to, while I was awake, insert a tube into my lungs to make sure that they could maintain my breathing level during the operation. They said it was serious, that this had to be done. And that was excruciating. It was very painful. I went through a whole period where I really felt that I could not breathe at all. Was struggling with that. Even though they give local anesthetic, it was a pain. Anyway, eventually they got the scope down into my lungs, and then I was out. When I woke up, the first thing I thought or felt was excruciating pain in my stomach. They came into me and told me that the operation had been a success, that they were not able to go down with the scope, so they had to abandon that attempt, and they ended up just doing everything from locally on the stomach from the outside, which meant that I had to have an extra incision in my stomach. And given that it was a bigger operation that way, it meant that I would be dealing with more pain. However, the amount of pain that I've been dealing with since Thursday last week has been unbelievable. And it's taken them until yesterday to actually reach a level of pain management. So the first days were hell. Didn't sleep the first 2 nights at all. Had to sit up in bed, and I would, sort of doze off a little bit while sitting up, and then, snap out of it because of pain. So it wasn't until I was more sedated during the day that I was able to get a few winks. So it's been rough. They don't understand why I've been dealing with so much pain. I still am, but at least now it's at a level that they can manage. So I'm receiving shots of oxycodone about 8 times a day, and they've set my fentanyl patches up to 37 milligrams, which is about the equivalent of 100 milligrams of morphine. And that's keeping me going. I still have numerous times throughout the day that are painful, but at least it's manageable. So that's where I'm at right now. Today put a bit more of a smile on my face because I finally got my call from my doctor, Mohammed, who's been primarily one responsible for my treatment, who called me to talk about the results from the PET scan, which you all have been informed about a little bit, but I haven't spoken with him at all. I just read a bit on my app. So he ran me through it all, and he said that he's seen all the pictures and that he was completely confident that, every location in my throat that had been affected is in full remission. So he was very, very pleased with the results. And he said, nothing is guaranteed, could come back in the future, but right now I'm absolutely, definitely cancer-free. So that made me feel more convinced, because now they've done the full body scan and can see everything. So, good news on that front. My next struggle is the swallowing. So we'll be looking at different techniques to address that. One will be having electrodes placed on my throat for stimulation, and I'll be doing that through the municipality once I get home. Hopefully while I'm still here at hospital, I don't know when I'm going home yet, but hopefully while I'm still here at hospital, they'll be able to do an x-ray, sort of a motion x-ray while I'm swallowing to see if they can diagnose more clearly what the issue is, apart from the fact that everything is just extremely tight in my esophagus. I've seen pictures of it as well, and it's definitely swollen, and the hole into my esophagus is tiny, to say the least. So electronic stimulation is one option. They may have to operate and try and expand the throat through the use of balloons, kind of like you do with heart surgery. So I'm hoping to talk with the doctors here about that tomorrow. I don't know how long it would take to get scheduled. They said that the x-rays for investigative work could possibly be done almost right away. So I'm hoping maybe tomorrow or the day after, we'll see. But the operation for expanding the throat, that might take more time. And we'll just have to see if that helps, or if I'm even able to do it. If the electrodes will help, that can take some weeks or longer. And until then, it'll just be a combination of the electrode stimulation and continuing with my exercises, physical exercises that I do in my throat, my mouth, my tongue, neck, and just trying to swallow numerous times a day. But at least I've now been operated on, and I'm starting to receive food in my stomach, and the prognosis at this point is hopefully within the next week or two I'll be able to stop having the intravenous food in my arm and only have it fed through the tube that's sticking out of my stomach, and that will give me more freedom, and it will also give me more strength. It's been a rough start on that. Every time I've received some nutrition, it's hurt a lot in my stomach. They started with 30 milligrams, moved me up to 50, 60, 70. I'm up at 100 now, but I have to be up at 250 milligrams per meal 5 times a day before they stop with the intravenous nutrition. So I'm really looking forward to that, because I'm so tired of that tube and having to lug things around all the time. So that's the update. There's definitely lots of positive stuff. I've still got a lot of stuff that I'm battling with, and as I'm sure you can tell, I'm finding it very taxing, but I'm trying to keep spirits up and trying to focus on the good things that have come about. And we'll just have to see how it goes the next little while. Love you all. I hope this gives you a bit of a clearer idea of where I'm at, and just know that I'm thinking of you all and really appreciate everything that you've been sharing with me. Love you.